What is art?
I think art is everything. It's in the sounds that we hear. It's in everything that we see. It's in architecture. It's in human beings. Art is expression. Art is emotion. Art is just a feeling. And how you let it out vocally, audibly, how you visualize it on a canvas, on someone's skin, how you put it into a 3D sculpture. It's all about expression and feeling, really.
Let's talk about art. In the era where creativity has become so commoditized and more people are trying to make as much money as they can from making and selling art, the question has to be asked, does anyone bother being a real artist anymore? So, who are you, what do you do?
My name's Ricardo.
I'm Jason.
Yeah, I'm Charles,
I'm a music producer and score composer.
and I paint pictures.
I'm a tattoo artist, rapper, and a dude that just loves to create art.
Most people don't discover their passion very early on in life. These guys did. When I was 9, I thought I'd make great paintings. Thankfully, we move.
I've been drawing since a child, so it's been there. I was quite good at school. So I've been doing it for quite a while, part-time, but really professionally for about 3 years.
Tattooing I've been doing for about 13 years. Rapping I'd say a year and a half to 2 years now. Only been 2 years, but I mean, I've always written and I've always, loved hip hop music and rap. So I've been a lover of hip hop for, the longest time. I think since 8 years old.
I've been doing music my whole life, really. I started when I was very little. My mom forced me to play piano, which I hated at the time, but now I'm so grateful that I was forced to do that. I started drums at an early age as well, and all through high school I sort of expanded to more instruments and found production, and that's where I started really sort of honing in on what I wanted to do, which is be a music producer and write music for movies.
When I started writing this video, I expected everyone I interviewed to have had this dream of getting into the industry they were in right from the beginning. I was wrong.
Doing scores and writing music for film wasn't actually always something I was interested in at all.
I tried my hand at the whole rapping thing, creating music around the time I started tattooing. But mom said, listen, you need to find a job that's not going to pay the bills, and the thing that sort of generated income immediately was tattooing. So I decided, well, I picked one or the other, and that seemed like the better choice.
I considered doing it as a career in my early 20s, but thought it wouldn't be financially viable, and then I went into finance, which wasn't fun.
It's all well and good being able to paint pictures, tattoo great tattoos, and make beautiful pieces of music. My question to these three was, do they think that what they make is art?
Sort of creating the difference between, or being able to showcase the difference between music and that music then becoming art. I think that I've been working so hard over the past couple of years to elevate my music from just music to art. And it doesn't always come out that way, but I think I'm starting to see more and more of that art emerge out of my music.
It's difficult to answer that, because if you'd asked me 3 years ago what you're doing, and I was making art, and I would have thought it was reasonable. As you do grow in the craft, your understanding of the art changes.
I'd say from the time I started tattooing, I've been creating art. I'd say in the very beginning, it was more so about what I wanted to create, if that made sense. It was, there was a lot of fun attached to everything I did.
I think most people start creating because of an intrinsic passion to create art. But it becomes difficult sometimes to balance this intrinsic motivation to create beautiful art and to be able to balance that with creating a successful business. Do you ever feel that you are compromised in your pursuit of art by money?
I'd like to say no, but I think the answer for all of us is yes. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, money makes the world go round, and there's no way around that.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, because most artists really struggle financially. It's not an easy thing. trying to make a living out of art.
I think you have a situation where, as you also build up a name and you have this niche, you can sort of dictate what you create. So if a client presents the idea of, let's say, wanting a portrait of a lion, you wouldn't naturally then take the Pinterest idea of a lion and then replicate that. But once your sort of, I'd say, style grows and people trust you with it, you can sort of have full control over the design process.
The reason I made this video was because I had a thought. Does money devalue art? I think art is so valuable because of its intrinsic value to somebody. But on the other hand, I think the value that other people assign to the art, and more importantly, pay to the artist, help the artist establish a career and make a living out of creating their art. Do you think that money removes from the value of the art itself?
I definitely think it can, yes. I think money, it gets to a point for some people where money is the only objective.
There's also the danger that money actually devalues art in the sense that money chases a certain product. And therefore people would assume that's what the market is wanting, and then they paint towards that product.
It's a weird one because money can sort of make art more valuable, if that makes sense, but in the same breath, I do think it becomes a very subjective situation when you look at it, because if you create art purely out of love and passion, how the artist perceives that art, he could say, listen, that's one of his most outstanding pieces. But now it becomes a situation where the client or someone receiving it, the recipient of that art, dictates that what the price might be, and they think, well, it isn't really that amazing, so therefore they can put a certain price tag on it.
People then gravitate to that because the money is there, and therefore so money can, in a sense, you're making money out of it, out of the art, but it's actually devaluing it because you have a herd mentality then.
And where the effort is not put into the art, I feel like that's when it gets to the opposite of how I feel about it, which is put in my best work regardless of the pay, or despite a low rate. I'll always put in my very, very best work, not just for the client but for myself, because I wouldn't want to do anything subpar.
But there is the other thing, that there are people who appreciate art and are prepared to support it and be generous to it. So in a sense, money does devalue art. In another sense, correctly applied, it can encourage art.